I really want you guys to take away some things of value from this training. I want you to feel like you left here with a game plan, a strategy, some way to get you out of your rut, whatever you're in, or if you're on a high note, crushing it, hitting all of your goals like you should be right now, how do you get to the next level? So I'm going to go ahead and pivot to my whiteboard. I wrote some notes up here, and I would like all of you guys, you should have a sheet of paper in front of you, and just kind of walk along this exercise. Let's do this together. All right. So this is something we do daily 10:05 coaching calls with all of our agents each morning. Jump on a little Google link. We ask some questions, and we try to set intentions for the day and make sure everybody's on the straight and narrow. So the first thing I'd like all of you guys to do, because we're all in real estate, you probably have 1,000 things you're thinking of right now that are distracting you from being in the room right here. I want you to please do a brain dump. What is on your mind? What things are you falling behind on? What should you have done yesterday at 4 p.m. that you forgot, and you forgot to do it this morning at 9 a.m., and you need to get on top of it? Just get everything out of your head and onto paper, the things that are just taking up space and you just need to accomplish at some point during the day or during the week. We call this our brain dump. Everybody has stuff that's just weighing on their mind. It's distracting you from staying focused in the moment. So whatever the hell that is, just get it out. And it's quickly. It shouldn't take you 30 minutes to brainstorm on what you need to get out of your head. It should be like right there. The stuff you think about right when you close your eyes as you're laying down at night, and then you wake back up like in a panic, those are the things you're writing down right now. So go ahead and start doing that. I'll give you guys like 15 seconds. Start jotting down. Everybody's got a list. Everybody's got a list. What do you got to get done? What clients haven't you called? Which ones should you follow back up with? That deal that's falling apart and you're too scared to call the other side of it? Got to make that call. Write it down. Get your strategy in place. Okay. So your brain dump's there, and you're just trying to figure out, okay, what's important, what's not. Now, one thing I like to do is the items that I feel like are most important, I pull up my calendar app, and I just time block 30-minute chunks. I just throw them in my calendar as like an event, and I put in the title of whatever I listed down. And I just stack them in my calendar, so when I show up to my desk, I just see my day has full of like 30-minute blocks. And I can organize them whatever I need to do. So if I want to do it later today, I can move it to like 4 p.m. If I want to do it tomorrow, I just drag it over to tomorrow. But now it's somewhere that I can rely on, oh, I'm not going to forget. It's going to be there for me the next day or whatever. So that's just a little exercise I use personally just to stay productive. And it's going to help you time block as well. Okay, now that you got your brain dump out of the way, you're less anxious about everything you need to do, or maybe more anxious about the things you should have done. Let's move on past that. So I want you to flip your sheet of paper over. We're going to do an exercise called the T-chart. And I'm not going to have you guys do this right now. I'm just going to explain what it is, but you're going to build out the frame of it. Has anybody done a T-chart before? Okay. Line down the center of the piece of paper. Okay. A line across the top, making a T. Left side, things you like doing. Just put like. Right side, things you do not like doing. Okay. So what you're going to do at some point, maybe today or as we're going through these presentation or as Ryan's giving you great ideas that you want to go implement, or you're getting reminded of things you don't like doing but you think it'd be a great idea, you're going to kind of organize your list. So that right side, the right side is your delegate. I want you guys to aggressively find ways to delegate those tasks to somebody else. Be it an in-person assistant, be it a virtual assistant, be it your spouse, your teammate, someone. But if it's something you do not like doing, you need to get it off your plate and onto someone else, because you're putting it on that list because it's important, right? Yep, we agree. So it's important, it's weighing on your brain. You need to figure out, how am I going to get this off my plate and onto someone else? So like a quick story on delegating. One of my first accountability partners in real estate, he lived in Hawaii, his name's Devin. The first thing he outsourced was cleaning his house. That was the thing he hated. He just dreaded it. It bogged his morning down. He couldn't get in a good flow in the mornings to get to the office, and he just thought about it all the time. He just hated having a messy space. It cluttered his brain. So the first thing he did is he found out, how much is a cleaner? Can they come every day? And what's that going to cost me? He figured out the cost. He correlated that to how much commission he needs to earn per month to support that, and he did the math. He's got to close one deal every quarter to cover the expenses for that. So he dedicates one deal to that. Different ways to outsource. So then on the things you like doing, that's just good to know. Like, spend most of your time on that, right? So just good exercise as you guys are flowing through this training and all that stuff. If things come to mind, just write it down. But I do this exercise probably once a quarter. Next thing, you might have a little bit of room on your T-chart side, or you could put it on your other side, however you want to organize it. But this is your one and done list. This is how high achievers, high performers get shit done. One and dones. An example, got to get your real estate license to be an agent. You know, if you don't let your license lapse, you don't have to do the test again. It's a one and done, right? Setting up that business bank account, one and done. Little things like that. So what are these big tasks you need to get done that move the needle, that if you just get it done, it's done for good? We call those our one and dones. Like, for instance, when we leased this office space, that was on my list. I needed a space to hold events. One and done. I don't have to go do this every day. So that's an important list to monitor. Now, the way I like to do it is the brain dump usually coincides with my daily checklists. A good reference point for this is, like, you should have opening duties and closing duties in your business, right? So when you show up to the office, do you have a flow state you get into where it's like, I check my CRM, I look at my new leads, I follow up with any of my clients that are under contract, I roll into calling the new leads that hit my website, I go onto Facebook Messenger, I see who's responded to me. All of these are checklist items that I work through each day to make sure that I'm doing the tasks that give me the results I want, right? And then next to that is my brain dump. So it's like, okay, I'm monitoring what needs to be on my calendar, and then what are my items I need to be focusing on every single day. Brain dump should be like somewhere on your wall, behind your computer, or just front and center that you're always staring at so you don't lose sight of those big important tasks you just need to get done, right? So just these are strategies and systems you guys can implement. Everybody in this room should be able to do that in one way, shape, or form. So also it's important to have 90-day targets as well. So what's like the main thing you're trying to accomplish in this next season of real estate? We just rolled into summer, got like 100 days until Labor Day. I know that that's gonna fly by. It sounds like, okay, that's a little too short, but that's all you get for summer, 100 days. So over these next 100, call them 90 days, what are you gonna accomplish? Where are you gonna be at in your business in 90 days from now that's gonna set you apart from where you're at today? What person do you need to turn into? What do you have to get rid of? All these things. So if you're doing brain dumps and T-charts on a regular basis and monitoring your one and done list, I promise you'll be in a different place than you were today. And then your 90-day target should be guiding you to the result you're after. So if you want to sell 20 homes this summer, what does that look like? And so if you write down a target like that, like sell 20 homes, buy 3 rental properties, what does that look like? And then I want you guys also, after your 90 days, after your 90-day targets, you figure out what that is. What are the 3 things that are going to stop you from hitting those targets? What are the 3 things that are going to stop you from hitting those targets? Dude, because once you get those 3 things identified and you systematically go after how you're going to attack each one of those problems, what's going to stop you from hitting that goal? It's all on you now at that point. You've gotten the roadblocks identified. You know how to navigate. It's time to execute. So these are things that we focus on a regular basis. That's why we're growing as the fastest growing brokerage in Kansas City. That's why we push so hard when we're individual agents, selling our asses off, doing 20 closings a month. That's why we're paying out $600,000 in commissions to our agents at First Class this week, which is a crazy milestone. It came out of nowhere. It's because we keep our head down, we work hard, and we only monitor the things that are important, and then the results just show up. So hope you guys found some value out of that. Do we have any questions on this at all? Any questions? Take a picture of it, something, but do this on a regular basis. Promise it'll be super helpful. And then I did want to talk about this real quick too. So what's your growth plan in your business? Now, a lot of you guys are real estate agents, some of you guys are investors, but at the end of the day, the stages, we're going to call it buyer agent, listing agent, but when you're running a business, you're the technician, you're the manager, you're the entrepreneur, right? What's your growth plan to get out of those stages of business so that you're no longer the bottleneck and you could delegate tasks out to other people to actually grow something? So at our office, for real estate agents at least, we pitch the growth plan. And so let's just say step 1 is being a buyer agent because, okay, that's just what we do. Step 2, agent. You focus on 50-50 buyers and sellers. Stage 3, listing agent. So you're mainly focused on listings, right? So you kind of see there's a process of only focusing on things that are your highest dollar producing activities and where you get the most juice when you squeeze it. So step 4 is listing and hiring. And then step 5, listing, hiring, and training. And then essentially step 6 is you're out of production and you're hiring agents and you're training them up. We were just talking to our buddy Big Mike about this, and he said he's bringing on his first batch of agents. And he's just having a hard time training them. He wants them to show up and just be ready to go and proficient. I mean, we'd all love that, right? And so everybody goes through it when you start to step into these stages of growth and you get out of your comfort zone and start bringing people under your wing. And so everybody goes through this. But when you're in this stage of listing and hiring, this is where it gets hectic. Because you're not training them effectively. You know what you are? You're just a busy agent being a mentor that doesn't have time for your agent underneath you. You just have time for your clients because you haven't delegated effectively. So bridging this gap is one of the hardest gaps to bridge. And so we have a blueprint for it. If you guys want it, just hit me up. We'll walk you through it. But you should have some type of growth plan you're focusing on. And I'm sure Ryan's going to share with you some of his, he's kind of like, some of his moments where he's had to delegate, probably where he's at currently, still trying to focus on, like, how do I delegate this off my to-do list and give it to someone else? But everybody's in this phase in one way, shape, or form in your business. So I just want to illustrate this for you guys to give you some perspective on the most important things you should be focusing on. So without further ado, let's bring up your guest speaker for today, Ryan Mellies. Let's give it up.